A fairy tale. They travel by train. Always. I've never understood why, but it's a fact. Perhaps it's nostalgia. Maybe they have a romantic attraction to trains. I suppose it's possible trains remind them of a time when the world was bigger, darker, and there was more room for fairy tales to grow and flourish, and there were more nooks and crannies into which their kind could slip and hide. Maybe their natural world is too far away, and to travel here on foot would simply take too long. They could never make it here and back again undetected. Automobiles would never do, as they travel in large numbers and always together. Buses won't work either. They just don't venture out this far. I suppose in the end it doesn't matter. They come by train, and that is that, and it's my duty to stop them from achieving their evil intent once they arrive. They ride the trains from the sooty cities out into the countryside, using their magic to blend in, mimicking the appearance of normal passengers as they speed toward the remote villages and towns. They must be secret, you see, for they are thieves. They travel in search of many things, sometimes simple items, clothes, food, trinkets, the nightshirt from your clothesline, or perhaps the lone sock from your laundry. You know, the one you're always missing, and for the life of you can't puzzle out where it could be and how it simply vanished. I can't imagine how many pies they've lifted from windowsills, or how many carrots they've plucked from unattended gardens across the ages. Think of the poor, innocent souls falsely accused for their deeds, while they no doubt stood nearby, peering from the shadows, laughing at those suffering for their treachery. But preventing their petty thievery is not why I have been sent here. The food and the clothes and the trinkets are of no concern, at least not to them. The powers that sent me here keep me here. My task is to prevent the thieves from achieving their primary goal, stealing the children. In the West, they're known as fairies. In the East, hobgoblins. I don't know where they come from or how they began, and I don't know why they want the children. I know only that they do. They steal the children and leave one of their own in his or her place. Changelings living among a family with the family unaware. How many mothers have stared into the eyes of their child and noticed the alteration, but told themselves that they were imagining things? Something seems amiss, but they can't quite figure out what it is. Their darling little Jimmy or Jane seems to have changed overnight, almost imperceptibly. How could they know they stare into the eyes of the devil? So they come, they speak, and I fight them. How I came to be in this position, I don't quite know. I once had a normal life, I'm sure of it, though it seems ages ago and somewhere far away that I can't recall. I have a vague, shadowy recollection of a meeting on the day of my rebirth on a misty hilltop where charges against me were made, too hideous and vile to recall, and I must believe them false. Nevertheless, charges were made, a verdict rendered, and sentence passed. They gave me a heavy woolen cloak, once scarlet, but now rusty with age. Invisibility, they said, but only in part. They gave me a satchel and croaked fairy dust to befuddle them. And I had always thought fairies used the dust themselves. Thus armed, they marched me out, their newest Sisyphus, saying, pay your debt, earn your freedom, protect those whom you lately harmed. And there I was, and here I am. The station separates the forested mountains to the west from the eastern grassy plains. It separates the old from the new, the innocent from the tainted. It sits perched on the edge of time, betwixt and between then and now. Its dusty rooms are my home, the wind whispering through the leaky sills my only companion. I leave the station at dusk and wait in the shadows. I can sense the fairies among the human passengers. It is a skill I suppose I acquired that day on the hilltop. I see them, and I track them. When I am patient and skillful, they never know I'm there. I listen, and I watch. I will allow them their silly delinquencies, filching laundry and vegetables. But when their plans turn to the children, that I cannot abide. Sometimes the dust is all that is needed. I sprinkle it here and there, and it catches the wind, and is taken up into their foul nostrils, and they forget why they came, and they turn and leave, never knowing what has transpired. But at other times the dust fails to reach them, or my stealth fails me, and they see me, and they know my intent. Those nights the battle rages, and mostly I win, for I am swift and violent. Many a devil has met their end at my hands. But sometimes I fail, and I awake on the damp ground, dazed and bloody, and I hear the fiends cackle as they carry a wailing child off into the night. I don't know what horrors await those poor younglings, but I do know the horrors that await me. On those nights, my mind is dragged against my will back to that hilltop, and they show me who I am and why I am thus punished. The knowledge of my true self and my predicament becomes too real, and it burns me. They finish with me and send me back out again. I long to leave this place, to return home, but the chasm fixed between here and there is vast, and I cannot pass.